And now, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rimes.
Hey, and welcome to the show. Thanks for spending some time with us here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, helping you win in any marketplace. Coming off our party that we had last week, great time at the gratitude party. Always great to see our show listeners and, of course, our expert contributors and some of the team there as well. Great time over at the Tarpon Turtle, and had some really good conversations with some of our listeners out there. So you're always invited to our events, and we've got another event coming up here. I'm going to talk about Harbor of Hope in just a moment, but this is a good time of the year when we really reflect on all the blessings we have. We've got Harbor of Hope coming up. We're going to talk about that. It's an event that our team is putting on to help raise money for hurricane victims. We got a great lineup for you, as always, here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We've got Attorney Frank Miranda. We're going to talk about the legal profession in terms of real estate, what real estate duties are. We have a class that we take through Keller Realty called Risk Aversion, and there were about 18,000 plus real estate broker agent complaints. We're going to talk about that and some of the trends in real estate as well. We've got some stats here from Lawrence Young. He's the chief economist at the National Association of Realtors. We're going to talk about the market. A lot of people are concerned with the storms being in the past now and how that's going to affect insurances. So we're going to talk about some of those stories. We got Mark Haye coming up on the second half as well of the show, 21st Century Financial. So thank you so much for supporting the radio, TV show, and the real estate team. We greatly appreciate you. A couple of hot listings here. We got 8107 Sierra Manor Lane. This one's in Tampa. Beautiful property. It's a prestigious home. This is a gorgeous estate-style home, expansive lot, over an acre of land. You've got 3,600 plus square feet, 4 bedrooms, 4 bath, and a 3-car garage. 2-story home. Beautiful pool. You got pavers around there, fenced-in yard, gorgeous property. Lots of updates and upgrades. Bring your boat, bring your jet skis. You've got 130 feet of private water frontage, 6,000-pound boat lift, and a private dock over at 8107 Sierra Manor Lane in Tampa. This one's in that Oldsmar area close to Double Branch. It's Double Branch kind of between Tampa there. Great opportunity. Smart home. Lighting and security cameras, so many upgrades, and wonderful sellers as well. We love our clients. 8107 Sierra Manor Lane in Tampa. Beautiful property. Got to tell you about Old Archer Road up in Gainesville, too. My wife, Lindsay, and our team, Abby, and the team are up at our pre-construction condos in Gainesville, Florida. We've sold over 25% of the existing inventory here. This is 92 pre-construction luxury condos. So 92 pre-construction condos, over 20% sold. Sold another penthouse last week, over $1 million. 1.5 miles to the University of Florida, 5 minutes to Shands Medical and Butler Plaza. High-end luxury amenities in this building. And by the way, attention any commercial brokers out there or entrepreneurs. We're looking to fill the bottom level as well. This whole bottom level is going to be beautiful restaurant. You're going to have a coffee shop, etc., some retail on the bottom. Great opportunity. 3101 Old Archer Road in Gainesville. We have about 75% of the building still available, not sold out yet. 18 months are going to be the construction period. Great opportunity. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
Only in America, dreaming in red, white, and blue.
Shout out to Brio Tuscan Grill, also the official restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Brio Tuscan Grill, International Plaza Mall. Excellent food, wonderful ambiance, and a great management staff over there. Joey and Chef Oscar Ramirez, they do a great job. Excellent food, wonderful ambiance. Check them out. Let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. Take them up on special offers. Now, you also have catering and holiday parties. There's a whole room upstairs. You ever been to Brio over there?
I have been. Yeah,
good restaurant, right? And
Very
you don't
nice.
realize when you're sitting there, if you look up that whole upstairs area, that's open for catering or events and parties. So
I've been there for a party. So, yeah, they have some nice rental space up there that you can take advantage of and still have a great restaurant.
Yeah, awesome food. So check them out. Let them know you heard about them right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty. All right, we got an event coming up, Harbor of Hope, Saturday, December 14th. It's going to be over at Earthscapes Garden Room over in Palm Harbor. It's 2 to 5, just 3 hours there. And we're going to be, what we're doing is we're helping those affected by the recent hurricanes. So we're going to help raise money. One of the families is a single mother. It's her first Christmas, and she's lost everything. So there's multiple stories like that. So we came together, Keller Williams Realty, and a lot of our different offices. We're throwing this event. And we've already raised, I think, around $1,700 to go to the families, that are affected by the hurricanes. So come on out, join us at Harbor of Hope is the name of the event, and it's going to be Saturday, December 14th, 2 o'clock to 5 p.m., Earthscapes Garden Room. If you haven't seen that place, it's a really cool outdoor venue. Very, very just a unique experience. Great time of year, too. The weather permitting, it'll be a great opportunity to come out. All right, without further ado, we have Attorney Frank Miranda back here in studio with us. Frank, how you been, man?
I've been fantastic, and I want to thank you for inviting me back.
Absolutely, my pleasure, man. And we love to talk about the market. We love to talk about real estate. I like the legal side of real estate, too, because there's so many situations. We were kind of talking prior to the show. It only takes 62 hours to get a real estate license, but I think the hairstylists have to do like 200 and something, or 300 and something hours, and a little discrepancy there, taking care of somebody's hairdo versus selling somebody's largest asset.
Yeah, and when you think about those kind of rules, and you kind of scratch your head and you go, why are these rules different for these types of professions? Like, listen, I get it. If you got a bad haircut, you may have to wear a hat for a while.
Yeah.
But if you have a bad real estate agent, you may lose a lot of equity in your house, and you may have to pay attorney's fees not only to defend yourself, you may have to pay the other side's attorney's fees. So, I don't really get the logic behind that, but it's certainly kind of comical when you think about it, right?
It is.
Hey, we want to make sure everyone gets a great haircut. But for 62 hours, someone that knows nothing about real estate, we're going to hand them a license and say, go represent people's best interest.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of scary.
Over the years, I've seen some really interesting scenarios, too. Just people, shady scenarios where people will show comparables that aren't even relevant to try to get the old lady, for example, to sell her house for less than value. I mean, I've seen that. What are some of the most interesting scenarios you've seen? And I know you've litigated.
I'll be honest. I mean, recently, when I say recently, I'm talking 2024. I've seen real estate agents interpret factual events into what it means for the contract and give advice to sellers, which quite frankly was dead wrong.
Yep.
They killed a sale, which, I represented the buyer in that aspect. I'm like, they can't just unilaterally kill the sale. And so that didn't end up well for the seller. And you just can't give advice to sellers and say, oh, the other side's in breach of their contract if you're not a lawyer.
Right.
And that's exactly what happened. And when you think about it, you're like, wow, those 62 hours of coursework really didn't do this person justice, because they had no idea what they were doing when they told the seller to kill the deal.
Yep.
And so anytime you hear from whoever you're listening to that you don't have to abide by the terms of a contract, this sounds really simple, but pick up the phone and call a lawyer.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, that advice you're getting could be wrong. And if it's wrong, it's going to cost you a lot of money.
Yeah. Stay in your lane as a realtor. That's one of the terms that we had. We just
stay in your lane always.
We just had our
when it's not your problem, stay out of it.
Yeah. Our risk aversion. Yeah, two ways there. Attorneys trying to interpret things as an attorney, and then also as a CPA. Oh, yeah, you won't have to pay taxes, blah, blah, blah. No, stay in your lane. You're a real estate agent. And by the way, you're a realtor, not a realtor. That gets me every time. But the internet made it easier. This came from our risk aversion class with the Keller Williams organizations that we're part of underneath the Ubaldini umbrella. About 1,000 agents in the organization. Between 2020 and 2023, there were 18,600 real estate agent/broker complaints submitted to the DBPR. 9,800 of them were legally sufficient, about half. 47 agents had their license suspended, and 407 agents, licensees, permanently revoked.
Yeah, I mean, listen, in some regard, I think that's not a bad thing. Yeah. Right? Because if you do something egregiously awful when it comes to giving advice, or doing something that's fraudulent, or doing something that a normal, rational person would look at and go, that is absolutely either really stupid or intentional or fraudulent. You should be kicked out of your profession.
Yep.
And maybe they're not doing people that apply to get a real estate license any favors by only giving them 62 hours of advance work.
Yep.
I mean, there needs to be some sort of perhaps a mentorship. There needs to be some sort of internship where you're actually involved in transactions, get real life experiences. Because I'll be honest with you, I mean, you come out of law school, there's a lot of things you're taught that don't really apply to the practice of law.
Right.
And likewise, there's things that occur that you're never taught in law school. Mm-hmm. And so until you experience certain events, factual events, and you apply those to law, you don't know how to handle it.
Yep.
Likewise, if you're representing a buyer or a seller in a transaction, they can teach you all they want to. But there's events that take place that are never taught. So unless you have real life experiences, you don't know how to handle them.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you may go with a brokerage that, it's hands off. They really don't give you much guidance.
Yeah. They don't know it until after the fact. Like with Keller Williams Realty, a lot of people realize and like the fact that we have the best training and education and mentorships, as you said.
It's a big deal.
There's production coaches there that will take, I think, a piece of like the first 3 or 4 deals that you do, for coaching you along the way. So that's a real issue there. And it's kind of interesting when you look at, of course, we went through force majeure from a legal standpoint. When you hear that term, what is it, act of God?
Right. So, I mean, force majeure is, hey, we can't close today because my bank can't fund the loan because the bank is closed because there's a hurricane.
Right.
Okay. So there's no one's fault that the money isn't here. Yep. It would have been here but for the hurricane. And so we're going to have to continue this contract to the next practical date.
Yep.
So
and another big one, sorry to jump there, the documentation. Is when you have these verbal conversations in any business, really, but real estate, a lot of times you see it with repair addendums or, hey, yeah, the seller said he would fix that, get to the closing, he didn't repair whatever was supposed to be fixed. So another one, big one, is the easy one, is do simple well. Get it in writing. Get a text message, get an email, or summarize that conversation. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, per our conversation, this is what we said, and you agreed, and we will do this, and we'll follow up and close. Right? Get it in writing.
Get it in writing, right? It sounds so simple. Like a lot of things we talk about are going to be, sounds so simple, but they don't get done for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And, some of the reasons why they don't get done, the guy seemed really trustworthy, or they really promised me X, Y, and Z. And at the end of the day, none of them, all these excuses, and that's what they are, it's just negligent action.
Yeah.
And negligent action means litigation.
Yeah.
And, when someone says, hey, look, I promise that I'm going to make $10,000 worth of repairs and they're not done, but they don't put a dollar figure to it. But, if you had to do it yourself, it's 10, 15 grand, whatever the number is.
Yeah.
It's not insignificant.
Right.
And so when they don't do it, a lot of times there's pressure from either the selling agent or the buyer agent, just close, just get the deal done. Mm-hmm. And sometimes, factually speaking, you need to get the deal done because maybe you move to the city and you have a job and you need the house.
Yeah.
You have no place to live.
Right.
And so they end up eating it. Sometimes there's negotiations, say, hey, we're going to hold back some money. If you're represented by somebody with competence, we're going to hold back some money from the sales amount.
Right.
Until it gets done. And once it gets done, we're going to pay those subs out of this amount of money, and whatever's left over, the seller gets back.
Yep.
I mean, that happens pretty routinely. Sure. But again, that happens because in that scenario, because people are represented by competent representation.
Yeah, exactly. And to have a good transaction coordinator, that's super helpful for me and our team. Is somebody that's in the details or in the.
Yeah, you might want to explain what a transaction coordinator is, because
kind of like your processor,
right?
They're crossing all the T's, dotting the I's, making sure everything's there. And that's an important position as a real estate agent. If you ever want to go from a single agent to building a team or doing a massive amount of volume, and when I say massive, anything over 10 million is pretty darn good. You're going to want to have that set up where you have a transaction coordinator that is very well versed and likes to do that work. Well, I hate doing those types of things.
Yeah, so it's essentially what that position is a liaison between your client and the title company, your client and the bank or mortgage company to make sure all the documentation is done on time, to make sure everyone's got what they need to close. And so it's another set of eyes looking at the transaction.
That's right.
Inevitably, if you don't have someone like that, what happens quite often is there's always a last-minute scramble because there's a piece of paper missing or multiple pieces of paper missing. The survey wasn't done. Litany of things that could fall through the cracks, and they're trying to scramble to call in a favor to get X, Y, and Z done in a short amount of time to get the bank to approve the loan so you can go to close. And so those people have to be A-type personalities where they can follow a checklist and make sure it gets done in a reasonable, fashionable time so everybody can get the deal done.
That's right. Attorney Frank Miranda here in studio with us. He owns a law firm right here in Tampa Bay, fcmlaw.com, fcmlaw.com, and has a title company, can do your closings. And we're going to talk more on the flip side of this break. I want to shift gears, talk a little bit about the economy and the market, where we're going. National Association of Realtors Chief Economist Lawrence Yun. I've got his documents right here in front of me. We're going to go over that, tell you what to expect coming up here in 2025 and more. Plus, our feel-good story of the day, man labeled brain dead may be first to recover from extreme lock-in syndrome. Feel-good story of the day coming up here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
This is Warwick Dunn, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rimes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 727-263-3707. Online at consumerqb.com.
Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider who shares your values. They offer the very best nationwide coverage on 4G and 5G LTE networks and exceptional 100% US-based customer support. Patriot Mobile offers discounts for veterans and first responders, NRA members, and families with multiple lines. Learn more at patriotmobile.com/consumer QB. That's patriotmobile.com/consumer QB. Or if you'd like to give us a call, you can reach out at 727-263-3707. That's 727-263-3707. And we'd be happy to tell you more about Patriot Mobile.
Dennis Prager here for Brandon and Lindsay Rimes, owners of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams. Buying, selling, investing in real estate, their nationwide Keller Williams network makes them the best team to work with. Sellers, have your property featured live on air, creating multiple offers. Buyers, leverage a unique system that gets your offer accepted, never overlooked. Call or text 813-750-0550, 813-750-0550, or consumerqb.com.
Lindsay Rimes here with Archer Place in Gainesville, Florida. Our luxury condo community is located only 1.5 miles from the University of Florida, 5 minutes to Shands Medical and Butler Plaza. Our buyers love the high-end luxury amenities in their building, including a state-of-the-art fitness facility equipped with Pelotons, the resort-style temperature-controlled pool accompanied with cabanas and grills, and the gourmet chef's kitchen in our clubhouse that overlooks the pool. We have pre-construction pricing only for a limited time, with floor plans ranging from a 1-bedroom, 1-bath to 2-floor penthouses with plunge pools. Starting in the low 400,000s to the high 900s, investors, parents sending their young adults off to school, medical professionals, business owners, and entrepreneurs alike are investing in these residences. Reach out to us today at 727-263-3707 to get more information.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Brandon Rimes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team. Keller Williams Realty, a couple of hot listings, and then we're going to jump into our chief economist from NAR, the expectations for next year. 1767 Winfield Circle. We've got a beautiful listing here in Clearwater. This one is completely renovated, beautifully updated home in Clearwater, Florida. 4 bedrooms, 3-bath, 2-car garage, 2,671 square feet, quarter-acre lot, circular driveway. You have beautiful curb appeal, and the interior is just absolutely gorgeous. It's stunning. You have a fireplace, lighter color designs in the kitchen. I love the kitchen layout there. With the center piece, you have just a nice area there in the kitchen with the color scheme is just lighter colors. People really like the lighter colors. You have a fireplace there, freshly painted, new flooring throughout, not in a flood zone, and untouched by recent storms. Although our legal team, Frank, wants us not to say not a flood zone, not affected by recent storms. That's one of the things they're saying, not to kind of go out there and say that. But 1767 Winfield Circle, Clearwater, Florida, beautiful property. Check it out. All of our listings online. 5930 River Road, Newport Richey as well. Newport Richey, waterfront property. You've got 80 feet of frontage on the Cody River. 0.56 acre lots, over a half acre lot, 1964 square foot, 4 bedrooms, 3.5 bath, 2 spots, carport, 1 car garage, right on the waterfront. Beautiful home, gorgeous property here. You have the metal roof as well, French doors, and a great opportunity. You can see all of our listings, PlatinumMVPTeam.kw.com.
Yeah, I'm racing like laughter, though, saving our ass overseas.
All right, we're talking with Frank Miranda, Attorney Frank Miranda here in studio with us. Frank Charles Miranda, PA, and a great location right here on Cypress in Tampa. But talking about the chief economist coming out saying that improving job numbers and recent gains in the stock market, more Americans may be motivated to act. Yun predicts an uptick of nearly 2 million jobs for 2025. And he goes on to talk about how in 2025, the sales projection, existing home sales to rise 9% year over year, new home sales to jump by 11% as well. So that's national numbers. Of course, Tampa Bay is a little bit different. But just in general, it seems like we're moving in the right direction.
Well, you hope, right? And, anytime there's an election, no matter who wins or loses, there's a little bump of optimism. I don't know. I don't know how to take that personally. I think the economy's on the right path. I think it's going to be okay. But then you have these really weird situations that you can dream of if you sit there and you get neurotic about it, about, oh, my God, what happens if the war in the Middle East gets bigger? And
right.
What happens then? And, what happens if China and the tariffs blow up in our face and that goes bad? We don't know until it actually happens, right? We have a bunch of promises out there. And, everyone's optimistic about it, and rightfully so. But at the end of the day, what really happens, I guess the man upstairs has got to kind of figure that one out.
That's right. Amen on that.
We have to adjust to it.
Yeah.
We have to adjust to it. So, hopefully it all goes as predicted, and that's good for everyone, right?
Yep.
But there's certain things we can't do. We can't handle.
What I love about housing, though, Frank, too, is when you look at housing, people have to live somewhere. It's an insurable asset.
True.
It's most likely going to appreciate. I mean, history, if you look at history, it appreciates it. But we were talking about the numbers earlier. And if you can look at some of these numbers, this is what economists do. They dig into the numbers, right? Yun pointed to the 3.5 million new babies being born each year, as well as the 1.5 million marriages, 700,000 divorces, 3.5 million people turning 65, and 25 million job changes that takes place each year. And then we also said, well, how many deaths? How many other
right.
deaths?
So
but you have all those things happening, and those are causing transactions.
Correct. And so, the first thing I thought of was, well, people die too. So that causes, a lot of times it causes people to sell a piece of property. How about the people that have to, unfortunately, go to, assisted health care? They might own their own house. That's another factor that puts another house on the market. Natural disasters. People don't want to live in the area anymore. And other people are like, that's fine. I'll take that opportunity.
That's right.
And so there's a lot of reasons that we can come up with of why people would sell a piece of property. How about, unfortunately, financial situation. I can't afford it anymore.
Yep.
Property taxes are too high. My insurance is too high. I'm going to try and go to a cheaper state. There's a lot of reasons why people are going to sell properties. A lot of those reasons aren't going to go away either, right? So depending if the economy's good or bad, people are still going to die. People are still going to get divorced. There's events that occur in life that cause life situations and people to sell property.
That's right, life events. Yeah, multi-generational living is a big trend too. Multiple households, family members living in the same house. Frank, how do you want people to connect with you, man?
Yeah, they can call the office at 813-254-2637. They can look us up on the web, www.fcmlaw.com, or they can shoot an email to frank@fcmlaw.com.
frank@fcmlaw.com. You could reach out to Frank Miranda and get that connection there. Frank, thank you. Appreciate it.
It's always a pleasure.
Taking a quick break, coming back. Mark Haye, 21st Century, coming up.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rhymes, knock out your competition.
Welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us here. Brandon Rhymes, Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. Always helping you win in your real estate deals, buying, selling, or investing. Also helping you win as a consumer, as your consumer advocate. We have over 80 different categories of consumer advocates, a.k.a. expert contributors that appear on our show. And we always help you win in these different areas of business, finance, real estate, home services, and much more, all online at consumerqb.com. We got Mark Haye in the house, 21st Century Financial, coming up. We're going to talk about expectations going forward after the Trump landslide and what that mandate means for the American people. More specifically, what does it mean for your wallet, your purse, your pocketbook, your stock holdings, your investments? We're going to talk with Mark Haye, our financial advisor, expert contributor here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. As you know, we always like to feature our real estate listings live on air. It's part of our strategy that helps our sellers sell faster for more money. 1905 Masters Way, beautiful property here in Plant City, Florida, East Hillsborough County. 4 bedrooms, 3 bath, 2-car garage, 2929 square feet. You have a large lot, 0.38 acre lot with no backyard neighbors. Florida room with expansive windows, split floor plan, beautiful property here in Tampa Bay, Plant City. Great opportunity to own real estate. Also, Walden Lakes has walking trails, dog park, playground, sports complex, and access to the lake for non-motorized vehicle. Great living there at 1905 Masters Way. 4229 Red Cliff. Red Cliff is another one of our beautiful listings here in Tampa Bay on Red Cliff in Newport Richey. This one is a condo. We've got a motivated seller here on Red Cliff. The seller is looking to make deals at 4229 Red Cliff Place. You can see all of our listings online at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, quick shout out to Lee's Royal Services right here in Tampa Bay. He's our cleaning partner for the show. He does all of our residential, commercial cleanings. Check him out online, leesroyalservices.com, leesroyalservices.com. He's a handyman, also home and office cleaning, leesroyalservices.com. Make sure you let him know the real estate quarterback sent you. All right, Mark Haye, 21st Century Financial. Welcome back.
Good to see you. Good to see you. I do a post-election, so
That's right.
I think a lot of people in this room are probably pretty happy with what happened with the election.
That's right.
You know, it's amazing how 15, 20 million votes just kind of evaporated this year.
Yeah,
opposed to 2020.
81 million votes. Let me see what Laura Trump says about it.
Desperate to know that they could trust our elections. They were so desperate.
Clip from Laura
Why
Trump.
do we have the disparity? 81 million votes in 2020 for a guy who campaigned out of his basement, and now people are going back and dissecting it and saying, well, wait a minute, something looks a little off here. Do you think you cannot have a country if people don't trust our electoral process? It's not the United States anymore. And we had to do this to make sure that not only did we catch people who were cheating, but that we turned out our voters.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, isn't it? I mean, you look at, how much would you bet if there was a way to just pull out and say, yep, the 81 million votes, how much would you bet that was a falsified, fake? And you saw 2,000 mules. I mean, we all saw how it went down. No way Joe Biden got 81 million votes.
Well, it doesn't even exist. If you go back to Kamala, go back to Obama, go back to all the years, it never got that high.
Yeah.
You know, so 15 million votes just all of a sudden appeared and then disappeared, and there's no trace of them. They didn't end up in Republican, end up in Independent, just gone. You know, and this is probably one of the most popularized elections I've seen in my lifetime, where it was just so polarizing. Like, okay, man, like we got these two candidates, we got to go out and vote. And I mean, Kamala spent like $1 billion on this campaign.
Yes,
I mean, and she's like 20 million in debt. Well, then you look at what she did. She paid almost $600 million to her employees, like payroll, to celebrities, stuff like that. That's an insane.
I thought it was a much bigger number. I thought it was
$600 million. Well, Trump spent $10 million.
Right.
You know what I mean? So put that in perspective. And then she spent that in how many days? 100 days? How do you spend $1 billion? And then you're going to take that person in charge of our country and run it, and they can't even manage their own campaign? They're $20 million in debt.
Exactly.
I mean, Trump's $40 million positive right now. Maybe they can send him a loan to the Democratic Party and say, we'll loan you the $20 million.
He offered to pay some of the contractors, I think.
Insane.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just think that the right person won, and people can disagree with it. But here's the deal: he's the quarterback now. You know, he's of our team for 4 years. We got to get behind him. Let's see what he can do. And so I figured just go through. Here's what we're going to expect to happen.
Let's
now.
do it.
You know what I mean? So one thing, and we talked about here earlier, was the credit cards.
Yes.
You know, credit card debt is massive right now. It's the highest it's ever been in history of the United States of America. And some people are paying 20, 25, even 40% on this interest. You know, and it's just wrecking families. Well, Trump wants to put a cap at 10% or 10%.
Yep.
Well, if you have $10,000 of debt, let's just use that, and you're paying 25% interest, that's $2,500 a year. If it goes down to 10%, that's $1,000. So you're saving $1,500 a year. First of all, that's a big, massive increase of you get to keep, or apply it to the principal, and you can speed up that payoff and all of a sudden get rid of that debt faster. It just gives people hope.
Increase your credit score,
exactly.
go buy a home.
Exactly. So
Buy
now all of a
condo.
sudden you're saving $150, $200 back in your pocket just putting that cap on there. And then, all the good news is our taxes are not going up next year. You know,
Right.
they were set to go up because Trump's tax plan in 2017 is expiring. Everybody's going up 3-4% in every bracket. That was going to happen. The good news is we're staying where we're at. So everybody gets to keep 3-4% of their income now because it's not going to go to the federal income tax. Again, if you got credit card debt and you all of a sudden are paying 10% interest instead of 25%, you're not going to be paying 3 or 4% more in taxes. That's a big difference just in your family and your business.
Yep.
We're only too deep right now. I mean, that's massive.
Yep.
Then you talk about, all right, well, we don't want to tax Social Security. We don't want to tax tip. We don't tax overtime. Let's just go back to the Social Security. My parents are on Social Security. I'm sure your parents are on Social Security. That's a big pay increase. If they don't have to pay taxes anymore on their Social Security, and again, let's just use a 20% tax bracket.
Yeah.
They get to keep 20% of their income. That is a massive number.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, people have more money. Guess what they do with it? They start spending, and now everything starts working even better, because people are buying and spending, et cetera. So if you could just take those three things, that's a massive win for everybody. I don't care what side you're on. You should be happy that could be happening, or will be happening, I should say. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a big deal, man. It's a big deal all the way around. And you look at in real estate, how many people did I talk to over the last 6 months? Oh, I'm going to wait and see. Right. Mm-hmm. In investments, you may have had people, hey, Mark, I don't know yet. We're just going to wait and see. Like the wait and see people are gone.
Yep.
They're ready. They're on board. You got businesses investing. You've got home builder sentiment up. There's a couple of social media posts floating around talking about the right within the first 48 hours of Trump being elected, just all of the positivity that happened. And here's one. It says Byron Donalds, first female chief of staff appointed. New York City stopped giving debit cards to illegals. U.S. companies bring production home. Stock market hitting all-time highs. Bitcoin hitting all-time highs. Newest migrant caravan breaking up. Mexico is going to keep them down there. Qatar agrees to evict Hamas leaders. Hamas wants to immediate end of war. Taliban claims to want new chapter. China wants peaceful coexistence. Russia is ready to speak with the U.S. EU wants to buy gas, U.S. gas, not Russian gas. Ukraine leaders in talks with Trump and Elon.
Yeah, I mean, it's all good things. I mean, this is positive stuff.
Big time.
You know what I mean? Even if you don't like him, or that is positive things. People don't realize the billions of dollars that we sent Ukraine. People don't realize the billions of dollars that we have bringing in illegals, busting them, flying all over the country, put them in hotels, give them a debit card, feed them 3 squares a day.
Yep.
That is costing so much money. And then the people say, oh, well, Trump's going to deport all the illegals. Where are you going to get the money? The same place that we just talked about. We're going to take that money, instead of putting all across the country, put them in hotels, give them food, we're going to get them out of here.
That's
and if
right.
you're here illegally, it's illegal, it's a crime, you're going to have to go. It's just how it is. And fall in line and do the right thing to get back in.
I got a clip for that, too. Check this out.
And then there is this one of Homan on 60 Minutes talking about family separation.
Homan.
We have seen one estimate that says it would cost $88 billion to deport 1 million people a year.
I don't know if that's accurate or not.
Is that what American taxpayers should expect?
What price do you put on national security? Is that worth it?
Is there a way to carry out mass deportation without separating families?
Of course there is. Families can be deported together.
that guy's gangster. I like that guy.
Man, he doesn't take anything from anybody, and we need someone like that. If border security and security in America is important to people, that guy is far better than what we've had the last 4 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And now we're not trying to be political. It's just that answer. Yep. He's not messing around, man. Like, we are going to fix this problem.
Yep.
And everybody else for the last 4 years, you had a chance to fix it, and you made it worse.
Yep.
And we're going to come in here and fix this. And it is what it is. Like, you can't come here illegally. I'm sorry. You just can't do it.
Right.
You know, and why do we spend all this money on Ukraine border when we just let ours open? You know, so it just doesn't make sense. But I'm glad we have common sense coming back into the office.
Common sense. That's so. I mean, we were literally this close to communism. I mean, didn't it feel like that? I was talking to other patriots, other friends, saying, "Hey, man, you know, I might be leaving the country. I'm going to delete all my social media profiles in fear of retaliation." I mean, that's where we were at as a country, and now it just seems like it's totally flip-flopped 180 degrees, and we are just pushing forward in a positive manner.
Yeah, I think it's positive. You know, I really do. I just think all this stuff is positive. I think Trump is a strong leader. You know, and and everybody acts like the world's going to collapse and World War III is happening and everybody's losing their rights. People forget he was already the president for 4 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, we already went through it. Like, no one lost rights.
Correct.
We actually had peace across the world. There was no wars for those 4 years.
Exactly.
We get career politicians in the office. Guess what happens? Wars everywhere again. I wonder why. It's money makers. They're not just sending money to Ukraine to help. It's coming back and laundering to people.
Exactly.
So it's like, guys, you know, like, we didn't have wars for 4 years. Let's get back to that.
Yeah,
you know what I
absolutely.
mean? So I just think it's all positive.
Yeah, Mark Haye here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, 21st Century Financial, smart money moves, smart money ideas. Mark Haye is who we want you talking to. Reach out to the show hotline. We'd love to connect with you, 727-263-3707. You can call or text, you know, and it really makes my day when you call that line, 727-263-3707. You're going to talk with me. I'm going to be the one answering the phone, and sometimes I'll get the response of, "Hey, I'm not on the air, am I?" And I say, "No, this is our off-air number." So any resources you need, real estate, credit, finance, estate planning, tax planning, home service providers, health and nutrition, so many different ways, self-defense, lots of ways we help you on the Consumer Quarterback Show, online at consumerqb.com. Mark, what else are you thinking? Because I saw that Bitcoin hit an all-time high, the stock market hit an all-time high. What are you thinking in terms of investments and portfolios for people?
Yeah, so I'm going to go back to that. I want to cover one more thing, the Qualified Business Income Deduction, QBI, which a lot of small businesses don't take advantage of, which is back now because Trump is implementing back. All that means is you can take 20% off of your net income, not gross. Okay, so as a small business owner, you go through all your deductions and you have gross income, net income, and you say, let's say you have $100,000 of net income. You can now take 20% off of that, and you only pay tax on $80,000. You know, so if you had $250,000 of net income, 20% of $250,000 is $50,000. I mean, that's a big difference. And a lot of these small businesses, and I meet with them and talk to them, and they're not even taking advantage of the QBI, which people don't really, I guess, know. But Trump is, you know, putting that back together where it's going to be 20%. So again, if we know all this stuff is going to be happening, it's time to start investing in your business. Put more money away for retirement, investments. Buy a second home. Take advantage of the tax code because you're going to have money free up now because you're not going to be so bogged down with all these taxations and everything else. And he does want to start taking all these, you know, restrictions off real estate and businesses and opening it back up again, so it's not so hard
deregulation
and red tape to get anything done as far as building, etc. So definitely take advantage of the QBI. And then bonus depreciation. You know, right now it's at 60%, going to 40, then 20, then 0. Well, Trump's going to put it back to 100. What does bonus depreciation just mean? If you're a small business or a business owner and you buy, let's say, a computer or a vehicle or equipment, you can now take 100% of that cost off of your taxes. Even if you financed it, you paid no tax, no cash. You buy a $100,000 piece of equipment. I don't care, call it a widget equipment. You could take that $100,000 off of your income and you financed it, and then you can write off the interest. You know what I mean? Which leads me to mortgage interest, which Donald Trump is going to be increasing, and he wants to take the mortgage interest up, and he also wants SALT,
the write-off for mortgage interest.
Yeah, and then he also wants to take the estate and local tax, which is capped at $10,000. Guess what he wants to do? No cap.
Nice.
So if you're paying $50,000, $100,000 in state local tax, you can take that off of your income and your federal income. Right now, it's only $10,000.
Wow.
I mean, that's a massive change.
Yeah.
And it's things like this. And if you don't really understand the tax code as a business owner, this is why you need to have conversations with myself and my CPAs and my team, because we go through all this stuff and we start reading. Okay, so what's going to be happening? This is not like this might happen. This is happening.
Yep.
And so let's take advantage of all this stuff and let's make the businesses grow. I mean, Main Street America, Small Business America, that's how America thrives. And if we can keep more of our money and we're not paying so much to the government, then, man, we can really explode as a country, and then will lead to tariffs. people are up in arms. Some people are in arms about this tariff thing. People don't realize that our products that go overseas to different countries pays a tariff. Now in previous administration, weak administrations, they never reciprocated it and put it back with us.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
We're just doing the same thing that they're doing. So Donald Trump's going over there and say, hey, man, you're putting 10% tariffs on our products. We're going to do the same when you bring it to us.
And I think a lot of it's just the mind games that he plays with these world leaders. A lot of it's just threats for a tariff. He's not even doing a tariff yet, but he's making that threat of, hey, if you do this, this is what we'll do. And then all of a sudden, production's coming back to U.S. domestic soil. So we got to take a quick break here. Mark Haye, 21st Century Financial on the Consumer Quarterback Show, financial advisor on the program. Feel-good story of the day coming up as well. Man labeled brain dead may be first to recover from extreme locked-in syndrome. Feel-good story coming up. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. Please make sure to send him all of your real estate deals and subscribe to the Consumer Quarterback Show podcast on iTunes and Spotify, or check out our YouTube channel. Have a blessed day.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 727-263-3707. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hey, Brandon BRimes here for AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com. My wife and I shifted a lot of our buying habits, and we wanted to support companies that support our values, patriotic, Christian conservative companies. And you can find that online at AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com. Now, what you're doing is you're not spending any new money. You're simply buying a lot of the common purchases that you're buying every month for the kitchen, the bathroom, your shampoos, your laundry detergent, all types of great essential oils, vitamins, herbs, those types of products. And for you beef lovers, we have great beef products as well. Tenderloin, sirloin steaks, grass-fed beef available as well. So check out AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com. And I'd love to talk to you if you have any questions about it. There's also a business opportunity there for you as well. 813-917-1894. And thank you so much for supporting our company, AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com.
Lindsay Rhymes here. My husband Brandon and I own the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams, and our team of seasoned agents is ready to help you buy, sell, invest, and love the life you live here in Tampa Bay. Communication, execution, customer service, and bulletproofing transactions are really where our team shines. We service Hillsborough, Pinellas, Manatee, Pasco, Hernando, and Citrus counties, and we have seasoned agents in residential, luxury land, and commercial divisions. Reach out to us, your Christian realtors, and let us help empower you with the right knowledge to make smart decisions with your next transaction. Call us at 727-263-3707 today. Again, that number is 727-263-3707.
Selling commercial, vacant land, or residential properties? Don't leave money on the table. List with the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm Brandon BRimes. You can reach me at 727-263-3707. Call or text 727-263-3707. Online at consumerqb.com.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon BRimes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, Brandon BRimes here in studio with Mark Haye, 21st Century Financial Group financial advisor for the program, expert contributor for all things finance-related, money-related. Hot listing here. We got a property, brand new listing, 455 US Alternate 19, unit number 151 in Palm Harbor. Beautiful condo here. We got an 898 square foot condo, 2-bedroom, 2-bath. You got a ground floor unit. A lot of people love that. Beautiful community pool with a hot tub. I love the granite kitchen countertops there, lighter colors. Beautiful property here. Affordable home at 455 US Alt 19, and that is number 151 in Palm Harbor, Florida. Beautiful property. 5407 County Road 125 in Wildwood. This one is Jamie's listing from the Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty. Another gorgeous property. Look at that backyard view. You have a gorgeous view here of the golf course. You have 3 bedrooms, 2-bath, 2-car garage, 1914 square foot in Wildwood, Florida, up near Ocala. Beautiful property here. Stainless steel appliances, granite countertops, LED lighting, and a great opportunity. You can see all of our real estate listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
This is God's country. Tell me something good.
All right, feel good story of the day. A man who was previously declared brain dead may become the first person to recover from extreme locked-in syndrome, a condition where a person is conscious but unable to move or communicate. His remarkable recovery challenges medical expectations, offering hope to others with severe neurological conditions. Despite being given little chance to recover, his progress raises new possibilities for treatment and recovery in similar cases. And there you have it, our feel-good story of the day. He's recovering in his hospital bed there. Feel-good story of the day. All right, Mark Haye, 21st Century Financial Group. Yeah, man, so much positivity. The outlook looks great. And I'm just, God is good. God is good. The election went our way. What else are you seeing in terms of consumer tips?
So then standard deductions was going to go down to $8,300 for a single filer, $16,600 for married. But now that Trump's back in office, it goes up to $14,600 and $29,200. I mean, that is a massive, almost double.
Wow.
So if you're a married couple and you make $60,000 a year, you basically get $30,000 off of the income. So you're only paying taxes on $30,000. You basically cut your taxes in half just doing that. So again, no tax on Social Security, standard deduction basically doubles. All that stuff adds up. That's a lot of money that people are going to be, getting in their pocket, spending, investing, building, a side hustle, whatever you guys want to do. But
I'm thinking about a vacation, right?
Yeah, vacation. But there's so much positivity and so much that's going to be happening with these small businesses and people, et cetera, that it's such good things that I find it hard to be negative about it. Just because it is going to affect not just the wealthy, because people think that it trickles down to everybody. Everybody is saving money on taxes. Everybody gets that same standard deduction increase. Everybody can do QBI. Everybody can have no tax on Social Security, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime. Everybody has that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So for them to say, only the rich are going to take advantage of it, no, everybody does.
Yeah.
And if the rich people pay less in taxes, that means they can put more money in the business, hire more people, pay more people, increase salary, make that life better. So it's just all positive, and I just hope that people could just get behind him for 4 years, just like we had to do it. If you didn't vote for Biden last time, 4 years, you got to get behind him and hopefully pray for him and hope he does the best.
That's right.
And here we are, 4 years now. We got a new person in control, and I use a quarterback because we're on a quarterback consumer show.
I love it.
He's the new quarterback. Let's get behind him. Let's get behind the team. Let's pray for him. Let's hope this all works out. But I don't think it can get any worse than it was for the last 4 years.
And look at the roster. It's not just him. It's 5,000 people coming in. So you've got 5,000 administrative staff changing hands. You've got Elon Musk. You've got all the names that you've all heard. I mean, you know who's coming in. But I just look forward to the policy changes. I look forward to the trickle-down effect of the economy and what you said. Yep. And it just proves also that, Keynesian economics is not good.
Yeah, and I like having people that are not career politicians in charge of the government.
Yep.
Like, we don't need to have career politicians like that. We should have term limits on everybody anyways.
Yep.
I don't care if you're a Supreme Court judge, a congressman, a senator. I don't care. 2 term limits, you're done. You're out. Because, corruption takes over. If you're in a position of power for a long period of time. And so I think that, Trump has talked about it. I don't know if they'll get that done, but I do think they all need, term limits on that.
Yeah.
And I think that'd be an awesome thing to do. But he has the charge of the House and the Senate. Maybe he could get that done. Maybe they'll vote for themselves out. But
that's what's awesome about it. We've got all 3 chambers this time, so that's going to be amazing. Final thoughts back to you about 30 seconds.
Like I said, I just think that people need to, calm down. And I think that let's get behind our new quarterback and let's pray for him and let's know what we're getting ourselves into now. And if we know that all these things are going to be happening, how do we take advantage of it for our families, our business, and our lives?
That's right. Bring it down to a local control, and that means into your household, into your kitchen table, into your business, your conference room. 727-263-3707. Call or text the show hotline. We'll put you in touch with Mark Haye, 21st Century Financial, 727-263-3707. And thank you for coming in, Mark. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Attorney Frank Miranda. We had Mark Haye, of course, and always a pleasure being on your radio waves. And follow us online. We'd love to connect with you at BrandonRimes1, at CQB Show, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness and do something kind for one another. We'll see you next time. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Call Brandon Rimes at 727-263-3707. That's 727-263-3707. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show.